Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, Slim. You can follow me on X at R2R30111. You can follow the other host here at Scotty Drown. As you can see by the title today, Jimmy Butler done for the season. Gut punching news from my Warriors. AD, Rich Paul, Klein has some interesting comments to say about him getting about a Dallas, and going to kind of discuss the NBA All Star starters has been announced recently, a few days ago. We're going to kind of dive into that and obviously talk about the weekly Who You Got segment. But before we dive into any topics, my guy Scott, how you feeling, man? You know, down here where I'm at, bro, the weather is starting to come in kind of heavy down here. And I can't complain, man, because I'm a fan of the, winter weather for sure. But how you feeling on this fine Saturday morning?
Yeah, we the Beanie Boys on the pod this
Yeah,
morning, bruh.
yeah, nice. I like how you put that.
But nah, I'm with you. I don't necessarily mind the cold. I don't enjoy it, but I don't mind it as much as the next person, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm just getting prepped. We got some groceries getting delivered to us. We went grocery shopping the other night. We couldn't find everything we need, so we had to like make an order and redo it
Type
again.
shit.
But yeah, it was a madhouse in there the other night. Everybody getting prepped, getting all psyched up for the big weather that's coming. It's supposed to get pretty heavy tonight, but I'm feeling good, bro. It's Saturday. We don't usually do the pod on Saturday, but it's nice, bright and early. I'm feeling good about it, and I think we got some good interesting topics to get into. I'm not going to call them good for your sake. Obviously, the Jimmy Butler shit isn't good. But we got some interesting topics. The All-Star starters, Jimmy Butler, and then the AD stuff just does not stop with him and Rich Paul. So we'll obviously
Man.
get into that. But how you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. You know, we got the day off at work, so I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing. Here
That's
I
a
am,
W.
yeah, here I am podding with you. So, like you said, we often don't do this, but here we are on a Saturday morning. It kind of says
Yes,
a lot,
sir.
but nah, I can't complain, man. I'm hoping to enjoy my day in at the crib, bro. You know, the weather's starting to come down. Watch some good hoops today, man. So
Yes. We
yeah,
got
it's,
some
it's a
good
pretty
games
nice
today.
slate today. You know, you got your six versus the Knicks, my Warriors versus the T Wolves, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth from that point. So yeah, man.
No, I'm excited for it. You mentioned it, big hoops. I even got Duke college hoops right after this, right after we get off here. So I'm excited for that as well, man. But happy Saturday to you. Like I said, that's an automatic W when you start the day not having to work.
Yeah,
So as you get older, you realize you just got to start like finding W's anywhere you can. And yeah, we're gonna manifest some today. But
for
let's get
sure.
into it, brother. Let's get into it, my man.
Yeah, let's dive right into it. So, breaking news, bro. This past Monday, unfortunately, Golden State Warriors star Jimmy Butler has suffered a torn ACL. He's going to be out for the rest of the season, maybe the foreseeable future. But in saying that, man, seeing that injury happen the way it did, like I actually seen it live,
Yeah,
on TV, and it definitely sucks. Like, I was as a fan, you don't want to kind of think, for the worst in that sense because you kind of figured it was bad because Jimmy is a tough guy. And the way he went down was kind of crying and,
yeah,
clutching at his knee. Just kind of knew it was something bad in a sense. But when he got up, Buddy, and I think Gary Payton kind of helped him up. He was in a good spirit. He was smiling, he was laughing, he was joking, but he just couldn't put any pressure on that knee. So I'm saying that it
yeah,
just sucks because, man, Jimmy was probably playing some of the best basketball all season, like the stretches. You know, after that game we won it. That was our fourth consecutive win. That was the most games we won in a row all year long. And so I'm saying that Jimmy, bro, he just changed the whole dynamic of this team.
yeah.
Since he came over, going back to last year trade deadline, we have like a 72 win percentage with him on the team. So that kind of says a lot right there. Like he just changes everything for this team. And so you lose a guy like that, man, just such a low blow, a huge adjustment period for sure. Like now we got to kind of revamp our whole, program in a sense. Like the initial plans we had going to the trade deadline, we have to kind of change that now
Yeah.
because obviously losing your second best player on the team, it isn't easy, and so it's an adjustment period for sure. But man, I honestly don't know where we go from here, if I'm being honest. But it just definitely sucks to see, man. Especially like Jimmy. I think he's like 37. Could be 30. No, he's 36. He's going to be 37 in September
Mhm.
of this year. And so you just start to wonder, man, would he ever come back the same or somewhat the same player once he once was? But nah, man, just a low blow for the Warriors, bro, for sure. Definitely wish him a speedy recovery. And that's a lot of options we can go from here, bro. For real. So, but what are your thoughts on hearing that news?
Yeah, I saw it I think I saw it the same night. I didn't see it live, but I saw like the video of it, and it was it was hard. It was one of those videos hard to watch just because the emotion, and like you said, he got up, he was in good spirits, but it's almost more like the reaction may not even have been to the pain, but it could just be knowing what you actually injured. Because like when you tear your ACL or tear a ligament, you could feel that shit pop. So it's like it could have just been the way the knee twists and then how it felt after. And he's just like, damn, my season's over. Maybe it hits you all in that moment type of stuff. And then, you get up, you want to get back to your spirit. But it was hard to watch, man. And it's interesting in terms of the Warriors because like you said, you were starting to find your ground in the West. You're starting to find the chemistry around the team. You had, Steph in and out of the lineup early on in the season. He's been back. He's been fully back. You've had Jimmy fully back, and you're just starting to get those rotations ironed out, starting to see what you need as you approach the deadline. And then boom, second best player gets injured, and now it's like reset, reevaluate. We got to look around the team, what fits now. You just heard we talked about the Kuminga trade demand last show. Well, now do you trade Kuminga because Kuminga he plays kind of the same position as Jimmy Butler? Is there more space, more role for Jonathan Kuminga now that Jimmy Butler goes down? So there's a lot of different avenues you guys can go as you approach the trade deadline. I wonder how fully in you are, because on one side of things, you have Steph, you obviously have Draymond, so on and so forth. You need to go and try to win now with Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry right now. But on the other side of things, like Jimmy Butler, like you said, he's 36, going on 37, whatever, 35 plus, right? What's he going to look like coming back from a significant knee injury? And is he in the plans for the future for y'all? And that was kind of discussed as the week went on. It seems like he's going to stick around with the Warriors. They're not going to, trade him to move like money and different things like that. But I do wonder if the Warriors just have to go all in right now because you just can't count on Jimmy coming back and being that same like top level elite player that's be the second best player behind Steph Curry on your team. It's almost like it kind of does force you to go in even more in my opinion. So I don't know, man. I think it's interesting. I want to throw this back to you though. Do you think that it makes it more likely that Kuminga's traded, or do you think it makes it more likely that he stays and maybe you make a trade elsewhere? Like where how do you view that?
No, I think regardless, Kuminga definitely good as gone down there in Golden State. I just don't think it makes sense to keep him at this point, despite the injury that happened. It just doesn't make sense to just keep him on the team. So I'm saying I
He
think
doesn't want
he's
to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there. So what's the point of holding the man hostage? Just try to go out there, get the best trade package you can for him, and just move on. It's kind of that simple, honestly. Also, Draymond was on his podcast talking about how in the locker room, Jimmy he just was saying the same thing over and over again. Like, damn, man, I'm supposed to take my kids to the arcade tomorrow. He just kept saying over and over again. So it just it's a mental battle for sure. It's all about how you attack the rehab. I seen Danny Green on NBA Today. He was talking about it. He had a similar injury, torn ACL, and he reportedly came back less than 8 months. I think they said Joe Ingles the same. So honestly, it's all about how you attack the rehab for sure. It's a mental battle.
Yeah.
Just the little things that can kind of, push you back from not getting over the hump. But for the most part, I think Jimmy is a tough guy. He knows what's at stake here. He's a hard worker. He's had to work hard his whole life to get where he at now. So I'm saying that I have no doubt that he can work hard and get back to the NBA. Now, the real question comes in, will he be the same player? I don't know. A lot of things play a factor in their age, the type of injury he just had.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot, but great question. I think for us though, bro, it's like a gut punch. I don't even know where we go from here, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I feel that. I really do. And maybe it's even too soon to even know what to do. You still got time between now and the trade deadline. Mind you, it's about a week or two. So it's not that much time to figure things out. But you do have a little bit of time to see how things look without Jimmy going forward from here and then figuring out what move maybe next. No, I do feel you though. I feel for you. I will give you one positive. Well, I'll give you two positives. Look at Kevin Durant and the way he's been able to come back from Achilles injuries, which from the sound of it, it sounds like Achilles are harder to come back from than ACL tears, but I'm not going to sit here and act like a doctor. Nonetheless, you look at KD, he's been able to come back. He's returned to elite form with the Houston Rockets and the Suns last year. And then the other one is right here in my neck of the woods, bro. You know how I felt about Embiid. I didn't know if he would ever return back to like that MVP type of player that he was 2-3 years ago. And he's starting to come around, bro. He's starting to look a lot better. So I think all those things combined, the age of players that's going on, it should give you a little bit of hope just for Jimmy Butler to eventually return back to a somewhat elite form, right? Like I do think he can get there because he is a hard worker. So no, man, we'll see where it goes. Where do you want to go next, bro? Because I think we could take this a couple different directions. But something that just keeps sticking in my mind is Anthony Davis. And I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun, but how would you feel about Anthony Davis and putting the chips in to try to get him on the Warriors? I know you're in a spot you don't know what you would really do, but how do you feel about that off the top of your mind?
It's funny. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, man, there's only one good reason I would honestly consider even trading for a guy like AD. Like, obviously, the talent he is, but it's more so like the durability perspective you got to look at it from.
Yeah.
So, the only reason I would consider getting him is because I know we got a dang good medical staff over there in Golden State. Like, we can get him right for sure. Like, we're kind of known for doing that. So, I wouldn't feel too bad if we were to go out there and get him. It just depends on like what we giving up, and I'm assuming we would have to give up Jimmy to make the money work. You have to wonder, like, is that the move that you ultimately want to make? At this point of Steph's career, like, is that the best move you can wait, or could you wait to the offseason and maybe a guy like Giannis becomes available, things like that? But I wouldn't be too upset if we were to go out there and get Anthony Davis or keep it in the book with you. So it's just kind of one of those scenarios of like, you said it best. We got 2 more weeks to kind of figure it out. And so I'm pretty sure they win all their options right now. But Anthony Davis is for sure in that combo.
Yeah, it's funny, and the reason I brought this up is because I did put I put this into Chat GPT. Luckily, we have AI these days. They can kind of look at things, cross different websites, put together the
Mhm.
numbers, and give us realistic type of mock trades. So what they ultimately came up with was a 3-team trade involving the Warriors, Mavericks, and the Hornets. Basically, Anthony Davis would go to the Warriors. You would also get Mason Plumlee in that deal as well. The Mavericks would receive Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and a 2026 first-round pick. To be fair, it does not say where that pick comes from, but I would imagine it would come from the Warriors. The Lakers would my bad. This is multi-team trade. So the Lakers would actually get Buddy Hield, and then the Hornets would get Maxi Kleber and Dalton Connect along with Cash. So there's a lot of different ways you could do it. You could make it work. I think, to your point, it would probably have to be like a Jimmy or a Draymond, right? And I don't know how willing you are going to be to, give up on Draymond now that you lost Jimmy as well. That's a lot of leadership going out of the locker room at one time. So I don't know, how plausible it is for that deal, but it's interesting. It's something that I think the Warriors should at least consider. But
Yeah, I mean, it was like a month ago. They contacted us about AD, so it's definitely possible.
got the agent connection, right? Rich
Yeah.
Paul demanding he get out of Dallas. So
Mhm.
it's interesting, man. What did you think about the Rich Paul comments, bro?
Man, Rich Paul has been saying a lot of things lately, bro. I just told you before we went live something he said about Moses and Draymond. But my thoughts on what he said, I mean, he sees something that we don't, obviously, down in Dallas. Like, I don't see that team competing for a title. Maybe
Right.
he knows the writing is on the wall for AD sooner than later. He keep getting injured. He's getting older. So I'm saying that you want your agent to be in the best situation you can to compete for a title.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying that why not make him available yourself? Obviously Dallas has said that he's not available ultimately. Even Anthony Davis has said that he don't really want to leave Dallas, but in saying that if you want to compete for a title, I can see him making the most sense him getting, out of there.
Yeah. And even in the sense of like get into the playoffs and getting the opportunity to showcase your talents there, like even if it's not competing for a championship, the Mavericks might not make the playoffs in the West, right? Like they probably won't. We'll see, but no, I ultimately think Rich Paul is just looking out for his client, even if his client might not be looking out for his own best interests.
Mhm.
So in this regard, I don't think it's super wild by Rich Paul, especially given that Nico Harrison's been fired. You've already like moved on from that moment of trading Luka for him. So yeah, I think at this point you may as well try to get some youth around Cooper Flag. I would try to get young pieces in return. Another team that comes to mind and obviously has been talked about a bunch towards trying to get AD is the Atlanta Hawks, which we've discussed that on the show several times already. I think it would, you mentioned it earlier, Kristaps Porzingis, maybe you throw in Risachet. I might be saying his name. I might be butchering his name there, but Zachary Risachet. Maybe throw in a young guy like that, another expiring contract, a draft pick, and maybe that gets it done to Atlanta. And you get some cover for Jalen Johnson and company. You get a defensive anchor. I'm going to throw this one to you, bro. This is one that I thought was interesting. It only comes because the Knicks have been struggling lately. There's been a lot of rumors about them potentially moving on from Cat. How do you feel about a Karl Anthony Towns AD swap straight up between the Knicks and Dallas? I don't know if the money would work like that, but it just seems like I'm just thinking about Anthony Davis on the Knicks, and it makes a lot of sense with Jalen Brunson, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, you put a defensive juggernaut like AD alongside Mikal, OG, it can help Jalen Brunson more so than it would hurt him. You get another defensive oriented type of center who can
Yeah.
still go out there and get you 22, 23 points per game. So I'm saying that I think it'll be a good fit. Now, for the Dallas side of things, I think the main question comes in like, okay,
You want to take
are
the
we
lead?
really committed to paying, with all due respect, a guy like Karl Towns over $50 million, and he's more so like a one-way type of player, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
he's not a defensive type of dude. He's a bucket getter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, instead of giving a guy like that all this money, can we potentially, just hold off on that? But then again, if they were to get him, you could always flip him in a sense. So,
Yeah.
but I think the New York Knicks would definitely win that trade if they were to do that. It's not a bad idea for sure.
Yeah, I think the only concern that comes with that is AD's health history, right? And in comparison to Cat's, which from my memory, I feel like Cat has stayed fairly healthy, right? I don't think he's dealt with too many significant injuries. I know he's had some nagging injuries, but it was just something that came to mind. Maybe it's something that works out. We'll see as it heats up, man. Chicago's been mentioned. There's a lot of teams out there that maybe would want AD towards the playoffs. Who knows? As where do we think Ja will be traded? Do we think Ja will be traded at the deadline?
I'm going to say no because I know he informed the Grizzlies this past week that he don't want to get traded, so they may grant his wish. But at the end of the day, it's still a business. Like all it takes is that one good offer,
Yeah,
and he could be out of there. But I think nonetheless he's going to stay there because he's been playing much better lately. You can tell he's more engaged with the team, so I think he ends up staying down there
I
in
feel
Memphis.
that. I feel that. And I just feel like that would be a lot of moving pieces if you have him move, AD move, maybe the Warriors make a move, and so on and so forth. That would just be a lot of roster movement across the league. Ja is such a big piece. And part of me does want to see him stick it out in Memphis and maybe bring them back around. I just don't know if they can, man. That's the big thing.
It's
Is he
the
going to
wild wild west, bro.
end up in like a lesser version of the Dame situation? Like I'm not comparing him to Dame in Portland. I'm just saying sticking around
I feel
longer than you should.
But also, like, you got to consider, bro, like, I don't know if you remember this, but it was like a few weeks ago. I sent you a screenshot of Jaren Jackson Jr., bro. He had 0 rebounds. It be stuff like that be kind of blowing me, bro. Because what is you
yeah,
doing, bro?
yeah. How does that happen? But he'll have 5,000 in 2 quarters, though. That's the Jaren Jackson Jr. story, man. He's got so much talent, but I don't know. Consistency kills him. But no, we'll see what happens with AD, Ja. I don't know.
It's gonna be a good trade deadline. I think last year, bro. I think that was the best trade deadline in NBA history. If I'm being honest, like you have to consider all those pieces that were moved. We're talking about guys
Yeah.
like Ingram, Luca, AD, Jimmy, just other small pieces. It was a great one, bro. I ain't gonna lie. For sure, just a lot of teams just trying to make moves to get over that hump.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that for real. Luca alone, I mean, that trade, once again, just remember that as AD gets traded. Remember that. Remember that they traded Luka Doncic. And I get it, they've got Cooper Flag right now, but
I wonder what
Nico had. I just can't believe.
I wonder
To
what
the
Nico
Lakers, man. To the Lakers.
I wonder what Nico Harrison up to nowadays.
Probably shining somebody's shoes, bro. I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't believe it still. I was thinking about it driving my wife to work this morning. Like, Luka is on the Lakers because the Mavs traded Luka Doncic in conference to the Los Angeles Lakers.
He just bought a mansion down there, I think they said. Ridiculous, bro. He just led them to the finals the season before. There's no loyalty in the NBA, bro.
That is, yeah. I don't know, man. It just makes me wonder about the NBA. Like, how did Luka get to LA? I know we don't have to talk about it right now. It blows my mind that LA has this other era coming of Luka Doncic basketball for the next however many years. But shout out the Mavs.
Yeah, shout out Dallas. One phone call is But shifting gears over, my friend, to the NBA All-Star starters has been announced. In the Western Conference, we have SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, my guy Wardell, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic, and Victor Wembanyama.
Yes, sir.
Shifting gears over to the East, we have your guy Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I'm saying that when you hear all those guys being listed, what is your initial thoughts? You think anybody got snubbed, or was anybody more deserved to be an All-Star starter, or did they get it just right?
It's tough. It's tough for sure, especially with the recent injuries. Now we'll see who takes the place of some of these players. Jokic might be back. I don't know what his status is right now. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he'll be back.
He should be back by then. But Giannis obviously just went down with an injury, so we'll see what happens with that. The only snub that comes to mind off the top of my head is possibly Donovan Mitchell, but is it really a snub when you have Maxey, Cade, Brunson, so on and so forth playing at the level they are? I think you could have argued that whoever you decide to leave out of those group of guys right there, it would be a snub. So I say Donovan Mitchell. I don't know who I would sub him in for either. I'm not taking Maxey out, that's for sure. And that's the other thing. Maxey, my guy in the starting lineup, the franchise. I'm very excited
kudos to you, my friend. Shout out to you. I said, shout out to you, man. It's a good honor.
Yeah, no, I do feel it. I think Maxey, Brunson, those are the two guys that you could maybe argue Donovan Mitchell, right? Like that's the only one that I'm thinking of. I'll throw you another one, man, and this one maybe this one may be wacky, but Jalen Johnson.
You saying he should have been a starter? Maybe.
I don't know. What do you?
I tell you what.
I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping the gun.
No, I tell you what. Since Giannis is not going to be able to play in the All-Star game, more than likely, I think he's a perfect replacement, right? I think so. When you look at power forwards, centers, I don't think nobody's more deserving. than a Jalen Johnson, honestly. So that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
also you mentioned with Donovan Mitchell being snug. I think that it's probably more so from the perspective of they didn't want to have five guards out there.
yeah,
So you had to kind of put somebody like, Giannis out there,
yeah.
and fans wouldn't be too upset at that. So
I do have another one for you in the West.
who you got?
And once again, I don't know that I could take anybody out, but Ant.
And yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's just gonna be hard for Ant though, bro, because we got SGA, Luca alone in
Yeah,
your
and
conference.
then Steph.
Yeah, like I,
I'm
I,
not
I didn't
taking
even wanna,
any of them off.
yeah, I
So
didn't even want to get to Steph specifically. I just want to talk about like the two. They're not necessarily young, but they're not old neither, like Luca and SGA.
the
And
next
so
few
it's gonna be
years.
kind of a rough patch. But once Steph get out the West, Anthony Edwards go for sure. Make his case. And then you got Victor and Jokic, bro. Like, but he could definitely be in a conversation of like, did he deserve to be a starter? Which I wouldn't be mad at. I mean, his numbers this year is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but
It's just who do you take off once
yeah,
again?
like he definitely not taking Steph off. Like he's
No.
37. Like look at what he's doing, bro. Like
Steph,
ridiculous.
Luca, SGA locked in. Jokic is only like up in the air for me because he just got injured, but is that even fair, right? And Wimby's interesting. I think he is the one like coming off the bench and stuff, like for this like minutes restriction that he's been on the last few, like the last month or so. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. He is it's not that he's not a top five-ish player in the West. I'm not saying that. I just don't know that he has actually earned the starting spot this season. Look at Kawhi Leonard, man. He's played 31 games. Is that enough games? I don't know. That becomes a whole different conversation. But Kawhi Leonard comes to mind. Kevin Durant didn't make the starters either.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. I wish they would add like a Warrens tournament, bro. I think the dunk contest is cooked, bro. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, I
yeah.
seen VJ Edgecombe comments the other day. I was like, damn, man, it would have been nice for him to be in it.
He
But
said he's not doing. I didn't see that. I didn't see his
yeah,
comments.
the reporter asked him. I think they were saying like him and Tyrese Maxey could do it, but the reporter asked him after the game. He was like, "Nah, he's not doing it." It definitely sucks, bro. Like the dunk contest used to have
Why?
Warrens, man. Like
Why not do it?
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you got crazy
That's
hops. Like,
weird. That's weird to me that VJ, not Maxi. I don't think Maxi doing it. Although Maxi has been yamming this year, but VJ would be good for that shit, and it's good for your career. I feel like
it is, bro.
it used to be at least like it used to make you
Yes,
more popular, right?
it's
Like
it's more accolades being added to your career. like,
right, right. And it's just
like,
another
come
level of
on, man.
competition. Like I don't know,
Like
it's
guys,
weird.
they just want to get paid for everything they do nowadays, bro.
Yeah,
It's not like for the love of the game for real, bro. And it definitely sucks to say. That's why I say they should really consider like switching that out for like a Warren's court or something,
yeah.
one
For
v
money,
one. Yeah, like 3 dribbles, 4 dribbles max.
yeah.
I think KD winning that shit.
Yeah,
Hey, like,
automatic. That
yeah,
because KD, by the way, has been cooking the last couple of games. He came to Philly, put up like 35, 36.
yeah, he did.
Last night had like 32. No
Yeah,
turnovers.
was that I watched a video last night, bro. He was getting into it with a fan. Was that in Philly?
No, that was last night in Detroit. They played
Okay,
Detroit last night.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He
But
said
see,
he told him
that's
to
the
get off
thing
his
though.
dick. You a grown man.
That's the thing though, right there, bro. Like somebody like KD, bro, he's one of those dudes you really don't want to like trigger for real. Like, come on, he could get
Get him
15.
locked in even further than what he already is going
That's what
into
I'm
a
saying.
game. You
Like
do
the
not want
man,
to do
he
that,
can
bro.
get 15 in like 2 minutes easily. Like you gotta chill out,
Nah,
bro.
I feel that. You know what?
Mm.
I would say I'll go ahead and I'll stamp that. I would have put KD as a starter over Wemby. I would have
Okay,
probably went
I'm
Steph,
not mad
Luca,
at that.
SGA, KD, and Jokic. I think that
But
would have been my
to
starter.
be fair, I think things like this also comes down like your team record too plays a part. Like when you look at the Spurs, they are the second seed in the Western Conference, so you got to kind of count
That
that
is
for.
fair.
Yeah, I mean they're the second
That's a good
seed. Denver
point.
not too far away. So I'm saying that I could kind of see them rewarding Wemby in a sense for that. But I will say this: you mentioned a great point. Anthony Edwards being a starter wouldn't be too bad if you look at it from this point of view. to be fair in a sense because you got Jokic and Wemby on one side,
Yeah.
and you got Giannis over there. He's the only big. So you want to like balance it out. You could probably take Wemby out and then put Ant in, and that'd be a better matchup like SGA, Luca, Steph, and let's just say Jokic versus Giannis, Cade, Brunson, Maxey, and Jaylen Brown. I think that'd be a more equal matchup, not cheating in the sense because having Wemby and Jokic on the same team is just not
Yeah.
fair.
I
So yeah.
feel that like two just gigantic freaks, right? Like it is. Yeah, I do feel
And then
that.
granted, like obviously it's not this is not the official like team, it's still
Right.
Team USA versus World concept.
How do you feel about like no true center on the East Side? Like I don't. I guess who would it have even been? Like Jalen Duren or
Yeah, I think Darren, I know I'm missing somebody over there in the East that's a big that's been you
It's like
can maybe
Mobley's
say,
not a center. I don't even
oh,
know if Mobley's
yeah,
worth.
Mobley is a power forward. I was about to say you can kind of make the argument for him in a sense, but maybe Bam. But Bam hasn't necessarily been putting up all-star type of numbers.
At,
So
but just
yeah,
don't
Carl
know.
Towns, but he hasn't just put up. I think it would have to be Jalen Duren, Bam, maybe Alex Sarr, but they suck. So yeah, I mean, when you look at the
Yeah.
list over there in the East, there's not a ton of bigs.
I do
Jalen,
think Embiid is making a late push to be a reserve. I do think
oh,
he's making a late push. I don't think he
um,
should be a starter by any means. He hasn't played enough games, but
Scotty Barnes,
that would be a solid big. And with
Toronto top
Toronto
3
in,
seed in the
yeah,
East.
yeah,
Brandon Ingram.
yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of names. I think they did a good job though, to be fair, like to
Yeah,
be
it's pretty fair.
transparent. Yeah, I think they did a good job with this selection. But to your point, you pointed this out before the show. You just mentioned like World versus Team USA, right? The way this looks right now, and obviously we don't know how to look once we get the full reserve list, but you have Luka, SGA, Jokic, Wemby, and Giannis, who are all international players.
Yep.
So it would be Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Maxey, and Steph.
Yeah.
As of right now, right? Like we know it's not going to end up like that, but that is kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. The only thing I can say, bro, is that I just hope the Team World reserves be better than no, Team USA, right?
USA,
Yeah,
yeah,
Team USA reserves be better than Team World reserves. Like more so from the perspective, like more size, more versatility, from that point of view. So yeah.
we'll have to because I'm not remembering the stipulations for the reserves right now. We'll have to look into that before, like whenever we get ready to start our next show regarding the All-Star
Mhm.
reserves. Because I'm just thinking, like, does Denny Advia make the international team?
Yeah, he's from
Israel,
yeah, he's definitely going to. He's not coming to USA. Not gonna lie, I think Team World kind of got us beat in in a
right?
sense. If
Laurie
I'm being honest,
Marketer.
bro. Yeah, let's go down the list right quick. Yeah, we got to your point, Lord Markin and Denny, uh, Jamal Murray. He's a Canadian.
Yeah, you're right. Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam if you were to make it. Uh, Shangoon.
Sengun. Yeah, I just saw his name as well. Yep.
Yeah, so
Josh Giddey. He's
we might.
Australian, I think.
But see,
Yeah,
here's the thing, though. How fair is that, though? Like when you look around, is it more so guys making the team because they not from USA? Like not to take nothing away
I
from their
do feel you. Yeah.
not to take nothing away from their skill, but it's just the way the concept is being made here. Guys who is team where have to strictly play for that team and they're not from USA. So I'm
Yeah.
saying, are we really just giving all-star nods away at this point? Because you mentioned something, you was like, we gotta do our research. You're right about that because last year I did not like the All-Star game at all. Like we had like rookies and sophomores in the game.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, bro. Like
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. No, I feel that. That's why I say we gotta look it up because, like, is it the best players get selected and then you decide from there and then like move things around, or is it
Right.
we selected these international guys first for this international team. Because, like, I don't know who's a good example. I think Sengun actually has an opportunity. I think Denny actually has an
Yeah,
opportunity.
Jamal Murray too, though. I think Jamal Murray should be one this
He's
year.
been balling, yeah, especially without Jokic. I'm trying to think. I guess I don't know, like Pascal Siakam. Like I guess does he belong on the All Star? Like the Pacers suck this year. Like to be
They do,
fair,
but
but he is putting up good numbers.
yeah, he is. He is. So I wouldn't be mad if he were to make it. Let's put it like that. If he were to make it cool, no problem against that. Even
Yeah,
Bam can lucky make the team because he's not necessarily just all American. I think he's like Nigerian or something like that.
I was gonna say who was the guy I was just looking at, bro. Oh nah, Chet Holmgren. He's American. I'm pretty sure.
No, 1,000%.
Chet.
Yeah.
But no, that is interesting. We'll see how it plays out, bro. See Apollo. Is he gonna be an all-star? Jalen Johnson definitely should be an all-star. We already talked about that. But yeah, to your point, Jamal Murray, he should make it, bro. 26 points per game.
What you think? What you think about Michael Porter Jr.?
It's hard for me to put him in the All-Star game with the Nets record, but he's averaging 20, 25 plus,
He's
man.
good.
It's
Philly.
hard to argue him not. Keontae George been balling this year.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a new era, man. It's interesting,
But
honestly.
respectfully, I don't think that we stand a chance against Team World. If I'm being fair, I just don't like. They just have too many options, bro. Like you just caught me off guard with Laura Marketing. I didn't even think of him. So
Yeah.
just imagine somebody like that coming off the bench.
Adding him to the mix with like these other 7-foot international stars. It is crazy to think about, bro.
Yep.
It is crazy.
But
Because
to be
even
fair,
Embiid could go on the. He played for Team USA. I don't think he'll go on the international side because that would be like weird. But he could. He's Cameroonian.
That's a good point. I wouldn't mind having somebody like Joel over here. We could use the size, you
We
know.
need.
We can need it, bro. We need it for sure. But to be fair though, like I think we
Jalen
could put him.
Duren.
Yeah, Jalen Duren. We could put up a good fight. You know,
Yeah.
to be fair, you did mention Joel Embiid representing Team USA. It's the same with Bam. You know, he can represent us too.
Because he did play for Team USA. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
did. But there was one time I think he did play for the Nigerian national team. I could be wrong on that. But to be fair, I think that we can battle with those guys. Like we got Steph, Brian, KD. You know, we got the OGs still.
I'm trying to think. Did Paolo play for Italy? He was rumored to play for Italy. I don't remember if he actually did. So he could go on the international side as well.
Yeah. What about Franz Wagner? He might go.
He is. Yeah, he's German. You're right, bro. Yeah. Franz. Yeah. I don't know if is he injured, right? He's been injured the last like month or so, right?
Yeah, but we got Kawhi, we got D Book, James Harden, Kate. No,
You think Harden makes it? He should, right?
It's an option. I don't know if he actually is. Ingram.
Like it could come down to like a player like Harden versus like a Jamal Murray. And I just think Jamal Murray, he deserves it because like he doesn't have an all-star nod yet, right?
No.
Yeah, we need to get him on there. Definitely this season for sure.
But he wouldn't play for us though.
Yeah,
he would go to Team World.
We just add into the internationals. It's good, Martian. Didn't see you pop in. Happy Saturday.
Julius Randle, though. You think he'll be a good addition?
Bro, it's funny, man. I saw this argument the other day that people were saying, you know, the T-Wolves at this point definitely won that Julius Randle cat trade. Just talking about the way Randle's playing this year, he could be an all-star with his numbers and the efficiency he's shooting at. And then Dante DiVincenzo also being a quality player for the T-Wolves right now. But to your point about Julius Randle, I just saw him. Yeah, I was going to say top 25 in scoring with about 23 points per game. Is that what? Just lost. Where'd we
You
go?
say Randall?
Yeah, 7 rebounds, 5 assists per
Yeah.
game. So about 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Sounds like an all-star. Like,
Would you think? Do you think it would be? Do you think it would be petty if they were to put Rudy Gobert on the team, the Team World? Like honestly, like respectfully.
I mean, they could, man. Like, it would be petty. I don't think he deserves to make it, but they could. They could. It's like, are you gonna put him over like a Sengun, right? I don't. He doesn't deserve it over a Sengun, but do you do it? I don't know.
Hey man, Shangoon got a big fan base for real. I remember we did the live stream last year, bro. We had so many people in here talking about him.
Yo, you're right. You
Yeah,
are right.
it's my
What you think
birthday
about
twin, man.
Marsha's question here?
Thoughts on KG's statement about Europeans bringing flopping and stuff into the NBA. So I'm assuming he talking about guys like Luca, SGA, because they do flop a lot. Um, Softness from the perspective when you look at guys like Nurkic and Rudy getting punked by the likes of a Draymond, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's valid in the sense like those guys can kind of come off soft, but you got some motherfuckers who ain't going up. So it's just all about how you view it in that sense.
It's
But
weird.
I
It's
think
weird.
the NBA as a whole is just soft nowadays. If I'm
Yeah,
being completely fair here.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. And the other thing that comes to mind is like, I feel like when I've watched like FIBA basketball or European basketball,
Yeah.
they play a little bit more physical. Like they allow a little bit more
Oh yeah.
contact, a little bit more like hand grabbing, like they just allow a little bit more physicality. But then I do think of guys like Sengun that has come to the NBA and he does flop around a good bit. I'm not hating on it from that set. Like
Well,
I
you
watched
seen it
him
firsthand the other night, huh?
He did. He was flopping around the other night. And I only say that because the assistant coach for the Rockets, I guess he's talking about it.
Yeah.
And B just bodying up on him though. And B was
Yeah.
playing big boy ball against Sengun the other night, and Sengun was flopping around. But nah, Sengun's nice. I don't know. I agree with you. I think the NBA as a whole just they promote like
These guys are soft. I mean, I hate to bring this up, but it's a good reference. I mean, you already know what I'm finna go. You know, the pinky. Certain individual on your team didn't play ball because of this. So
You
that kind of
already know. You already know. They don't get softer than that.
Is Cat going to survive the trade deadline? I think so because Cat is one of those type of players, man. It's crazy this may sound. Respectfully, there are a lot of teams out here that is a card in the times away from getting over that hump. Respectfully, because you got to look at it from this point of view. It's all about personnel. So maybe if Carl Towns go to a team with a lot of defenders, defensive orientated, that can cover up his ground, he can go out there and be hid defensively while still giving you 23 points per game while shooting close to 40% from 3-point range. So that's kind of where I view it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It depends on fit. I don't know. I guess I just didn't realize how negative the New York perspective is on Cat right now, but I don't know. I think he ends up staying in New York. I think partly, like you said, he still has value. The other side, I'm sorry, there's a flame like flying over my house right now. It's distracting me. But no, I do think he makes it through the deadline. I think the other side of it, just in reference to like the AD mock trades I was seeing, it was making it look like New York would have to like add to Cat for Dallas to take on that contract. So I don't know. It definitely depends. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say sometimes. So I'm sure there's a team out there that probably does look like Cat. Probably does look at Cat like that one piece that could get him over the hump. I just don't know if he actually is. He's a stat sheet stuffer. It's so confusing. I think it's just when you have a guy like that and a guy like Brunson on the same team, same starting lineup, it's going to make it really tough defensively. But
yeah, for sure. Like, 1A, 1B, are both liabilities on defense. It's kind of hard, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, but you said Draymond punks everyone. That man don't care. To be honest, to be fair, he punks his people he knows he can. He wouldn't do it to a guy like Steven Adams, I'd say.
right.
Steven Adams would float his ass up like a box. But no, that's not happening, Martian.
Yeah, we know. We know. We talked about this earlier, Marsha. Somehow Luca
Yeah, you late to the show,
is a
twin.
Laker.
Yeah, but anyway, man, let's get ready to wrap the show up, brother.
Get
Weekly
out of
on
here.
you guys segment. You know, we pretty much spent the nice part of the show talking about the All Stars and things of that nature. So we look at the Western Conference side of things and the Eastern Conference. And we look at the mock-up of each team, the West, Steph, Luca, SGA, Wemby, Jokic, the East, Cade, Maxey, Jalen Brown, Giannis, and Brunson. When you look at each lineup, bro, who you got? Currently constructed, by the way. This is not the official teams, but
Right.
who
East and
you got,
West.
man? Who you got winning?
Man, it's definitely interesting. You know what I'm gonna do, Slim? I'm gonna go with the East. I'm gonna ride with my guy Tyrese Maxey. I'm not even gonna waste your time here. I'm gonna let my man Maxey lead the way. We're gonna run with Giannis at the 5, and we're just gonna go. We're gonna play fast break, full court pressure type of basketball. Jalen Brunson, full court press. Brunson, get your ass up to the front. You gotta chase the ball, bro. We gonna get after him in the front court. Not even let him get past half court. And we're gonna put a ton of ball pressure on Wemby and Jokic when they got the rock because we can't let them get around the rim. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Maxey leading the charge. Jalen Brunson or Jalen Brown, excuse me, gonna be my 4. But I'm gonna go with the East just to be a little different, bro. We're gonna play some fast-paced basketball. What about you?
You know who I'm rocking with, bro. I'm going with the West, man. My boy Stephen Waddell Curry. We're gonna try to win back-to-back All-Star game MVPs, baby. You know what I'm saying? But no, this has to be like the greatest star lineup of all time. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not even joking right now. Like,
Yeah.
when you put all these dudes together, that's a lot of talent.
Just
Like
ridiculous talent, skill.
Like Jokic, this is a match made in heaven. Like all those shooters and scores around him, the man would probably average like 20 assists.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, you know. So yeah, I just like the whole makeup of the team. You know, Stephen can pull up from anywhere on the court. SGA get to the free throw line, get to the midi. Luca, you know, step back 3, get to the cup. Wemby, a demigod. Jokic makes the game look so easy, can do anything. So yeah, man, give me the West, bro, for sure.
Nah, being real, yeah, the West. Like obviously, the way it's constructed, the East wouldn't have a chance against in this makeup of the starters. Mm-hmm. They would not have a chance. Sub out one of Maxey and Brunson, and put in an Embiid, a Jalen Duren, and I would feel a little bit more comfortable, but I would still probably go West anyways. But
yeah, definitely need more size for sure.
Yeah, they need more size.
To be fair, you guys got it over there in the East. To your point, Jalen Duren, Scotty Barnes, Ingram. Yeah, you got some size over there.
Got some length. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. USA versus World for the actual All-Star game, Martian. Yes.
Yeah.
Which once we find out the reserves, we can talk through that and figure that out. But
yeah,
hard to do that right now.
For sure.
Giannis is injured. Do you want? Nah, I'm playing, but yeah, Scotty Barnes should be an All-Star.
1000%.
Yeah, I think him and Bi with where the Raptors are at right now.
Yeah. Third seed in the Eastern Conference, they should definitely be All-Stars. For sure.
Yeah, I do feel that. Anything else, brother? Before we get out of here,
that's pretty much it. But my man Martian came at the last minute, holding us up, trying to talk about in and everything. Like, bro, get out of here, bro. It's snowing outside. Let us enjoy the rest of our day. Oh boy. Anyway, man. To anybody new, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, to the Galaxy Pod. Follow us on TikTok, NBA to the Galaxy Pod. You know, if you missed the live stream, I post clips on there just to keep you guys up to date. Yes, so I'm saying that we're gonna for sure be back next week. Who knows? Maybe a trade go down, maybe 2. You never know. We're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline for sure. But nah, that's pretty much it on my end. Appreciate everybody tapped in. Shout out Martian, my biggest hater. You know, when I was young, they told me if you got one person hating on you, you're doing something right in life. And I'll leave it at that.
Hey, we appreciate y'all for real. Shout out to my man Slim. Happy Saturday, everybody. Peace.
Peace.